What's up, guys? Back with another render reboot tutorial. I'm going to show you how I created this rendering using Twinmotion. Let's get right into the video. All right, so first thing you see is that we have a architecture firm reception area, just kind of a small space. And this is a custom scene. It was modeled in Revit and rendered in Twinmotion 2026.1. All right, so just to kind of show you a couple of things on how I created this rendering, I do want to go to my material picker and I'm going to click on our recessed can light, just kind of show you the material that we used here. We use neon 01. You can adjust the glow if you want to enhance or emit more light or make it brighter, or you can dim it. So we're going to keep it at 200. We don't want it too bright. Okay, so another thing is that if you look at our glass windows here, if we click on that, you can tell that I have frosted glass. So I wanted to frost out the glass because I didn't want to look directly out into the outside exterior of the 3D scene. I wanted to kind of give it a effect where you cannot see all the way outside, but you may see your trees and you see greenery on the outside, but I didn't want to take away from the image. So you'll see that effect later and you'll see what I mean. Okay, so let's get right to the rendering itself. And just to kind of point out, these books are from Twinmotion and Sketchfab, so you can find that as well. And I won't go over that, but maybe in another tutorial, I'll go over some more things here, but just want to quickly show you the rendering settings. So stick around. We're going to use the path tracer. All right. So let's click on our image here. And as you can see, the lighting doesn't look very good and the perspective is off. So let's see what do we have our rendering currently, because right now the path tracer is going. So we can click on our render option here on the tab and path tracers are selected and it's at a high level right now. So we'll leave it at these settings currently until we get done making our adjustments. So let's go to HDR and let's click that. Okay, we're going to change our HDRI too. So we do have a lot of options here that's embedded into the Twinmotion library. And they do have good HDRI environments, but I believe for this particular scene, I did use a HDRI that I brought in myself. So we're gonna go to my user library and see if we can find it. Okay, so I believe I used the day environment HDRI, and we're gonna drag that onto our scene. Okay, so it's HDRI 032, and it's a 12K. Okay, so pretty powerful HDR. Okay. All right. So now that we have that, let's make some more adjustments here. Let's change our intensity. Okay, so I rotated our HDRI to kind of help bring in some shadows. And what's really bothering me right now is our perspective. So let's look at our camera. So I'm going to click this guy, parallelism. Okay. And right now in our lens at our focal length, we're at 18. Let's move in closer. Let's do 22. Okay, so now that we have done that, that looks better. Let's start looking at our exposure and see what we can do here. So as you can see here, when I went to local exposure, my highlights were all the way down to 0 and our shadows were down to 0 as well. But as you can see, that it really muted our image. So I increased my highlights and I also increased my shadows, which makes the image look a lot better. So we're going to keep making some adjustments here. So my fingernails, darken that. For parallelism checked. So here we can enable our depth of field and make some adjustments here. I don't believe I will be making any adjustments, so I'm just going to disenable that. And we may come back. So let's look and see our FX. Let's make some adjustments and refinement to our contrast, our saturation. So here for our clarity, normally only crank it up or increase it up slightly. And if you notice, if you were to increase it more and more, the darker image seems to get. So I'm going to keep that at 15. And we will increase our sharpness 10. All right, so at LUT, we will use the lookup table and we have our different options here. I use Vice 4 for this particular rendering. See. All right. And as right now, nothing happened, so we have to increase the intensity of that image of the lookup table. So we do 35%. Okay. So as you notice, that made some adjustments to our image here. All right, so let's see what else we can do. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button for me and hit the subscribe bell. Okay, let's go to image and we're going to make it a 4K. And you can increase it to an 8K if you like. And we're going to hit tiled rendering. All right. And we're going to go back to our rendering tab and we're going to increase our samples on A48 and increase max sprouts. We're going to leave emissive materials checked and our denoiser checked, and our fireflies, we're going to keep it at 14. All right, guys, so that was the settings and the workflow that I use in this particular rendering. And I hope you learned something. And don't forget to hit that like button for me and hit the subscribe bell. And we'll be back with another one.